Happy 4th of July weekend to all of you. What fun things have you been doing this weekend? I've been sitting outside in my yard enjoying the birds and the flowers, and I've been walking around the neighborhood. I'm very thankful to all the wonderful things in nature that God has given to us, and I can see them all when I walk around. Let's begin our time together by lighting the Christ candle and saying an opening prayer. Please pray with me. Loving God, thank you for being with us always. We are thankful to be able to hear the stories from the Bible and to learn all about Jesus' loving ways. Thank you for giving us those stories and for giving us Jesus. Amen. I want to show you a picture. I wonder what might be in the loads of the bundles these men are carrying. I wonder how it would feel to carry a load like this for a long time. Can you think of what that might feel like? In today's Bible story, Jesus speaks to some people who felt as though they were carrying some pretty heavy burdens. A long time ago, God gave the people rules for living that would help them live in God's loving ways. After some time, people added rules to the ones that God had given them until there were more than 600 of them. That is a lot of rules to have to remember. Sometimes teachers in Jesus' time argued about what the rules meant and how the best way to follow them. The story today comes from the book of Matthew in the New Testament. Matthew's gospel is one of the books that tells us about the life and teachings of Jesus. Please listen to what God's word is telling us today. Many years ago, lots of people who loved God and wanted to follow in God's way listened carefully to teachers of the law and tried to do what they said. But so many rules made it hard to remember them all. Rules, 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 said the people. Why do we have so many rules? They weigh us down. We are so tired. Jesus was traveling from place to place, teaching and healing. Many people came to hear him. They wanted to learn about following God's ways. They wanted to hear about God's love. They wanted to find peace. We are so confused, they said. We want to follow in God's way, but there are so many rules that we are sure we are missing some. Jesus could see how discouraged and tired they were. So he said to the crowd, "Are you tired and worn out? Wondering how to find God among all these rules and regulations must be hard. Come, follow me. My way is simple. I will give you rest." "What about the rules?" asked the people. "Have you seen what I do?" Jesus asked. "Have you seen how I show God's love?" "Yes," answered the people. "Learn from me," said Jesus. "Be gentle and serve others like I do. Follow my way of love, and you will find peace. That's it. I won't lay lots of heavy rules on you." "We can do that," cried the people. "I know you can," said Jesus. As the years went by, Jesus' followers reminded each other about Jesus' teachings, and eventually they wrote them down. They will never be forgotten. They wanted all of Jesus' followers to remember that Jesus followed the way of love, not the way of rules. Here are some things to think about. Why did people come to hear Jesus? Why were the people feeling so tired and discouraged? And what did Jesus tell them to do? Remember the story and see if you can think about the answers to the questions. I have a bucket here with some huge stones. Each stone is a rule that the people had to follow. Remember all of the rules of the story, almost 600 of them. The rules were weighing the people down and making them sad. Rules, 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 and more rules, the people said. God's people were tired and discouraged and confused. And the rules were weighing them down with heaviness. But God sent Jesus to love. God showed people how to live their lives, how to love one another, how to love Jesus, how to love the nature that God had given us. And when we follow Jesus and we live by his rules, life is a little easier. If we try to live on our own, sometimes the rules become very heavy. Jesus said, "Learn from me. Be gentle and serve others like I do. Follow my way of love and you will find peace." When we follow Jesus, our life becomes a little easier and a lot happier. I have another picture to show you. It's an illustration about how Jesus served and loved others. How are these people following Jesus and showing God's love to others? Taking flowers to someone who's sick in the hospital, giving fresh water to birds, caring for God's creation, reading to someone who is blind and cannot see. Here's a little boy helping a girl who has just broken her arm, caring for her because she's hurt. Here's a family raising money to help fight hunger in their community. There are so many ways that we can show God's love and live in Jesus' ways. What are some of the ways that you may follow Jesus and show God's love? Take some time this week to think about some of those ways. Here's a craft that you can do that might help you to remember. Just cut out some hearts out of construction paper and write down ways that you can follow Jesus' loving ways. Maybe helping others, being kind, following Jesus, and loving one another. Just use construction paper and cut out the hearts and decorate them any way you want, and then just tape them to some ribbon and hang them up to help remind you of ways that you can follow Jesus. I had such a great time with you today, sharing God's story and making my garland. I'm going to hang it right here in our Sunday school area, and it will help me be reminded of how I need to follow Jesus' ways right along with you. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a blessed week. Let's say a closing prayer. God of stories. Thank you that these stories help us to discover more about you and more about Jesus. Thank you so much for loving us and being with us. We love you too. Amen. I'm sending my love to all of you. Have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye now.